hot out there, and it's like a 2-minute walk from your parking lot.
It is hot out there. I agree. Um, I've had to go through that too, and it is hot. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Maybe we can schedule it earlier in the morning next time.
We gotta do something.
Okay. Well, we'll look at that.
Okay.
So how are you feeling today?
I'm doing pretty good. Although, I had some fights with my boyfriend last night, and almost ended up getting TDO'd. Yeah, so I'm glad I made it here.
Walk me through that.
So,
How'd that evening go?
We have a dog together named Lua.
Okay.
And
What kind of dog?
It's a chow.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's aggressive like me, so I feel like we fit well together.
You're aggressive.
No, I mean, not aggressive, but, I'm very picky.
You have a picky dog.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Often animals reflect their owners. Okay, so you've got a dog together. You guys had a rough night.
Are you saying I'm a dog?
No, in fact, what I was saying was that pets often reflect their owners' personalities. Kind of like kids. So anyway, you guys are picky, and that's okay. That's fine. Yeah. You know what you like, and you go for that. So anyway, again, walk me through last night.
So he's in DC because he's now being a law clerk, and what happened was he was calling me about law school. I go to UVA law school, by the way.
Okay.
And so we were talking, and obviously I'm right about this tax law. And then he's like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. And then he was like, hey, I gotta go. And I was like, what the hell? Why do you have to go? I didn't tell you could get off the phone. And then he starts just trying to say, you're crazy. So what I did was I just got a bottle of wine, and I had, this whole entire thing of Klonopin, and I thought about taking it, and I was like, well, fuck you. I don't think you know what you're talking about anyway, and I'm just going to drink this and take all these pills, because if I can't do this right, then why should I even bother?
Is this the first time that's happened?
Sometimes I will take things because I just want him to validate how I'm really feeling.
What would he do if you needed to,
He would be there, and he wouldn't be hanging up the phone and doing his own thing. He should be worried about what's happening with me.
So he shouldn't have his own career, or?
He can have that. Obviously we need money, but I think the main thing for me is that he's not understanding my needs, and that's not a good boyfriend.
What are your needs?
My needs are to be respected, understood, and validated.
Okay. And
I need someone who's attentive, and it feels like he just doesn't get it. He's on planet 2 or something, and I'm over here on planet Earth, and he's on Mars.
That's a good metaphor. You said something about validation. What's he not doing to validate you? What do you need?
I want him to be there for me and understand all these other people are crazy in my life and support me with what's happening, because I feel like I'm all alone and not everyone gets it, and that's hard for me.
Does he get it?
Yeah, I feel like he does, but I don't really know if I like him or if it's just having that person to validate me or what's really happening. I've been kind of testing him, I feel like.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to see what he does because he just doesn't do it right. And then when I tell him he's not doing it right, he doesn't follow through the next time a situation like that happens.
Have you tested him before?
Yeah.
Has he ever passed?
It's 15%.
Ouch. So he's not even just failing.
If we're gonna do it on a scale, I mean, it's like law school. It's highly curved, so people. I mean, yeah.
Okay, all right. What would he do? I'm still trying to get it. If you're testing him, what would he do to pass? If that fight that happened last night happened and it was the resolution that you wanted, what's going to happen? What should have happened?
What should have happened was he should have known that I needed him to tell me I was right. And he should have stayed on the phone because he knew something I was worried about and wasn't happy with. And so he should have known that. But he didn't.
Did you tell him about that?
Well, after I called him back because I was pissed off.
So you got upset that he didn't just know about something that you hadn't told him about yet.
Well, I told him. I don't think you're listening to me. I said I told him about what I was experiencing. Okay. And then he just was like, well, I gotta go. And that pissed me off.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make sure I've got it straight, and obviously I didn't.
It's okay. You know, our relationship it seems like super chaotic. And, I'm not crazy. Everyone else is. And I just need him to know that.
Yeah. What was your relationship like before this? Like, what have you had other relationships, other boyfriends?
Yeah, having a boyfriend is something that I've always had.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the one before this like? Did you have the same, was it as crazy as this? Somebody that failed your tests?
I think it wasn't, I didn't feel like I had to test him as much because it was in college and it was kind of like whatever. It felt kind of like we used each other. I mean, he was like the wide receiver and I was on the debate team.
Yeah.
And I was really intelligent and he was really good looking. And we were just that all-star couple.
Yeah. But it doesn't sound like there was as much in it as your current relationship.
No.
What makes this one different?
I think what makes this different is that, I feel like this is the stakes. This has to work out. We're both lawyers. Yeah. And so being a lawyer together, we have that in common. And we can, have a good lifestyle. And that's, what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to graduate from law school, and he's supposed to propose and have this awesome life and be these go-getters. And, he's not passing those tests for us to do that. He wants to be a prosecutor.
Yeah. Not as much money in that, is it?
No. And, I'm all for it. I get it. You have to be a civil servant. But, I mean, I'm going to make more money than him, and I don't know how that's going to work.
Okay. So what's he like? I haven't heard anything other than his occupation. What's he like?
He's a really nice guy. He was valedictorian of his high school. He does a lot of pro bono work. And we're very culturally similar. He is from Rhode Island, and I'm from Connecticut, and we both went to Ivy League schools, and we have a lot in common, so I feel like that should make the relationship work, Yeah.
There's still this...
I'm just afraid that I'm not in love with him. I just like the idea of him, and I don't know how to figure that out unless I test him.
And if he passes the test, then you're in love with him. Is
that
how that works?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I just need that. Because,
you just need him to pass the test.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's not even about the testing. It's more about, I just need him to be there. And I don't know if it's just I just like the image of him or what, or if I actually do like him. So I feel like I'm testing myself because if I really care about him and I test him, that means I really care, right?
Sounds like you care.
Yeah. I'm just afraid. And I think maybe underlying, it's more like I'm afraid that he'll go away. You know, and I don't want to invest everything, like my whole entire life, into this and then realize that it's not what I want, you know, or not what he wants.
Why does it have to be an all or nothing situation?
Well, I mean, like, you can't win or lose a court case, right? I mean, wait, you can, but you can't, like, not do well.
I mean...
It's one or the other. You win or you lose.
That, sometimes you have a hung jury, sometimes you have to have another trial. There's a lot of things that can happen.
Yeah,
and
at
all
the
of
end,
those...
there's always an answer. And I feel like I don't know.
Sounds like you're putting a whole lot of weight on this. And I think in putting that weight on it, so much weight on it, there's a lot of pressure there, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm in my 3rd year of law school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, I actually took a semester off because right now I'm just going through a lot emotionally, so I'm taking some time off to kind of figure it out, and that's why I'm here.
So there's a lot of stuff going on, and this relationship.
Yeah.
So there's more here. Why did you take the time off of school?
Well, I've just been debating about, like, I'm just having a lot of anxiety and depression, and I feel like I don't know what to do. Like, this relationship with Malin, he's nice, but I just don't know, and I don't know if it's me or not, and one of my professors suggested that I seek treatment and try to figure out what I need, and I think that's what I'm here for.
Well, what do you need?
I need this to work out. I need to feel needed, and I need to have people that see my life and they say, wow, look at that, you know, because, like, I'm a law student. I mean, from my whole entire life, I've been telling people I'm going to be a lawyer, and, like, What about if that doesn't happen? And
what if that doesn't happen?
I don't know. And what about if it's not as perfect as everyone else's life? Like, this girl in my class, she just got engaged to this guy, and he's, like, super successful, and my parents are always like, that's the relationship you need, you know? And
your parents said that that's what you need?
Yeah. They told me that I can't, like, if I wanted to do something else, that no man could ever afford me.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot. Okay. So how's it going to look like what's it going to look like when he's validating you? When you feel comfortable, when you feel secure that he's not going to leave you? How's he going to act in that situation?
I'll just know. I'll just know it's genuine. Like, right now, I just think, like, oh, he's just doing that because I told him to. It's not because he actually wants to.
Are there things that you do that you don't like to do, but you have to do because you've been told to do them?
I guess school. I mean, like, honestly, I'd rather be a trophy wife, but, like, I just don't, you know, but I just want to be successful, and I feel like if Malin is going to be a prosecutor of all things, like a public servant, like, I have to step up to the table, and that's, like, a lot of additional pressure, because I know I could be a trophy wife, but, like, I also don't want to, like, subject myself to the lower level dudes so that I could be that.
It feels like you've got a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
From a lot of different places. So what are we going to do with that pressure?
Do you have, like, a magic wand or something?
I do, in fact. So how's everything going to resolve itself?
That's a pen. That's not a magic wand.
Let's pretend it is.
Okay.
Let's say I drive home and get my magic wand.
Okay.
Right? It's at home.
Yeah.
Let's say I drive home and get my magic wand, and we sit here and we put together a life that you feel secure in.
Mm-hmm.
Is it only going to be that you have a law degree, that you have money, that you have the right husband who's doing the right things? Is that how that's going to work out?
Yeah. I think so. I think you got it.
All right. Sounds like I've got the right picture then.
So is that going to happen?
I don't know. When you test people, there's always the risk that they're going to fail that. There's always the risk that on the test, there are questions that they've not studied for.
Well, isn't that like Darwinism, fight for survival, like only the fittest survive type thing? Because I think for me, it's like if you don't make it, you don't make it.
You're right, I think, when it comes to Darwin, but in a relationship, you've only got two things. At the core of a relationship, you've only got two things. So if it's the survival of the fittest in that situation, you're only going to end up alone. Somebody's going to end up alone.
I don't want to be alone.
I hear that. But you keep testing people and pushing them away. So how do we get around that? Because the test itself could push folks away. Some people don't like standardized tests.
I think that's why I do it.
To see if they can handle the tests?
Yeah. Sometimes I just feel like I create these barriers because I'm afraid that they'll leave me anyway. So I might as well just put them up and have everyone leave because it's easier.
So I hear a lot of you being afraid of being alone. So we need to work on some ways to connect you, whether it be with, and there it goes. Oh, sorry. It just was a warning.
Oh.
So we need to find some ways to connect you. Whether that's...
I just need like a knight in shining armor, like to tear down that, I feel like, because
somebody
that's
else
what I
needs
need.
to fix it.
I think they just need to be willing to do it. And I think that's why I keep testing in this point in my life, because so many guys, and I mean, obviously, like, look at me, there's going to be ones who are going to do it anyway, but